Welcome to this presentation on customer experience and managing difficult customers. So I started traveling across Africa in 1985. I remember my first trip was to the Gambia because my father was working there at the time. And so I've been traveling around the continent for about 33 years. And I have seen examples of very bad service, but I've also seen examples of very exemplary service. But all in all, I feel as if sometimes those who are involved in delivering service don't quite understand the importance of the customer, not just in keeping their organizations profitable and liquid, but in also in understanding that 95% of customers who you give bad service to can go and share their bad experiences with other people. Nowadays, people don't find that if you deliver good service, it's something that's really worth applauding, because sophisticated customers are coming to the point where they understand that it's your job to deliver the good service. So there's nothing extraordinary about delivering at par. It's only when you go above and beyond the call of duty that you may be entitled to some hand clap or the other. So here's what it is. Customer experience is now a very crucial part in the growth of organizations on the continent of Africa. And it's even more crucial if you intend to also become a global company, because it takes every strength you have to understand customer nuances and customer idiosyncrasies of your customers in Nairobi or Mombasa. And it takes even more strength, even more customer insights, even more customer research to understand customers of your company who now probably are in Johannesburg or somewhere in Durban or somewhere in Lagos or somewhere in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. So developing a customer-oriented mindset, developing a service mindset is a crucial survival tool to do well not just in your local market, but also to do well if you decide to take your company beyond the borders of where you currently operate. So in this presentation, I'm going to spend time to explain to you what customer experience is, what the principles of great customer experiences are, why customers become difficult sometimes, and then give you some tips on how to manage difficult customers. But all said, customers expect excellent service and want an experience that is consistent across all marketing channels. So if you're a company with 17 branches, from the headquarters where the managing director sits or the CEO sits, through all the branches, the customer experience must increasingly be homogeneous. Online, offline, homogeneous. So if I'm reaching you by Twitter or on Facebook, I expect the same expeditious turnaround time like I would if I came into a brick and mortar branch of your bank. Seamless, same, identical across all channels. So customer experience is really the internal and subjective response customers have when they make any contact, direct or indirect, with your company. And it's not restricted to the usage of the product or service, but it spans every interaction that the customer has with you in relation to your business offering. So the aim of customer experience really is the optimization of customer interactions with an organization throughout the entire life cycle of the customer. I'll repeat, throughout the entire life cycle of the customer. So it's not enough to deliver customer service or customer experience well one day, deliver it poorly the next day, and hope you can just move on with your life. Because one thing you need to note is that, look, good customer service experience can change the entire perception a customer holds towards your service entity. Very, very crucial. And when we want to look at what the constituents of good customer experience are, we could look at it in terms of customer support and in terms of customer service. So customer support has to do with what a business provides throughout the customer life cycle to ensure that the customer has success with the product or service they are buying from you. And customer service has to do with proactively going above and beyond the call of duty to provide answers, help, or guidance to your customers who patronize the services of your entity. So you might want to ask me, yes, so the constituents are customer support and customer service. But why does customer experience matter so much? Well, first, because it improves customer satisfaction. Second, because it fosters customer loyalty. Third, because it can help to increase customer advocacy and referrals for you. It can also help to reduce customer churn, increase revenue and sales, and ultimately offer you some solid competitive advantage. So let me go through these in turn. Let's look at the issue of customer satisfaction. Now, McKinsey, about 4 years ago in a report, found that companies that are focusing on maximizing satisfaction with regard to the entire customer journey have the potential to increase satisfaction by 20%, the entire customer lifetime journey. And customer satisfaction is definitely one of the best byproducts of customer experience management. What is it about customer loyalty? Well, creating an experience that truly impresses customers and exceeds their expectations ensures that they'll want to come back to you over and over and over again and want to do business with you. I say everywhere I have the opportunity to speak that nowadays the magic is never in the sale, the magic is always in the after sale. And therefore, you have to ensure that excellent customer experience delivery will be the point of differentiation between you and your competitors. Because all said, listen to me, when you take banking in Africa, for instance, I dare say that 80% of all products, retail products, for instance, across banks in Africa are similar. What happens is that depending on which bank the product is coming from, it carries a particular name or branding or clothing. So where the rubber meets the road, it's people like relationship managers, customer service officers, private banking managers, people like tellers. They are the ones who will ensure that a customer experiences delight or experiences comfort at the point of interface between that customer and the institution. So those personnel who play what we call boundary spanning roles, they can be very crucial in delivering excellent customer experiences. They span the boundary of the service circle or the circumference of the service circle. So when they mess up, we've all messed up. As for advocacy and referrals, it's very easy to understand. When people are very excited about you, they preach the gospel according to you, they tell others about you, and people also run to you because they've heard the gospel according to you. So if you want to excite your customers so they continue to share with others the excellent thing you did for them, it is one sure reason why your advocacy and referrals will go up and ultimately you make more money. Now let's take the issue of customer churn. Several empirical studies have been done the world over to show that price is not the main reason for customer churn. In fact, in a lot of those studies, poor quality of customer service and ultimately customer experience delivery is the main reason for customer churn and customer attrition. So if you have a conspicuous focus on customer experience, it will help to eliminate areas in the service business where poor service has been identified and where you have the highest propensity for customers to get unhappy with you and therefore defect from your service firm. The next issue is increased revenue and sales. Now, any institution that delivers a premium service is entirely entitled to charge a premium price. And customers who value good service are usually prepared to pay more for the same. So even if your nominal price is low, but the service you deliver is even lower, then there's the likelihood that customers will still be unhappy with you and defect. But if you give them a premium service and you charge them a premium price, and they perceive the value they get from the service you give to be higher than the price they've paid, then they'll stay with you and recommend you and make you rich. Now, when you take all these several advantages, what does it culminate in? Well, it culminates in competitive advantage, because it is a proven fact that excellent service in several industries across the world is becoming the only true strategic differentiator in these industries. So let me share with you a few customer experience statistics so we get a sense of what's going on globally. Now, a customer is 4 times more likely to defect to a competitor if their problem is service related rather than product or price related. And the probability of selling to an existing customer is 60 to 70 times better than the probability of selling to a new prospect, which usually hovers globally around between 50 to 20% when it comes to achieving success. So, the received wisdom on this matter is, it costs far less to sell to existing clients than it does to sell to new potential clients you are going to chase. So there are other statistics to suggest that for every customer complaint, there are 26 other unhappy customers who just remained silent. And a 2% increase in customer retention has the same effect as decreasing cost by 10%. 96% of unhappy customers do not complain. However, when they leave, sometimes it surprises us because we had no idea they were so unhappy. For you as a service entity, therefore, it's incumbent upon you to create mechanisms for excellent customer feedback so that when they defect because they've been unhappy for a long time, it shouldn't be something that we should easily want to countenance. Happy customers who also get their issue resolved tell about 4 to 6 people about their experiences. And 70% of buying experiences are based on how the customer feels about their prior experiences with that product or service. How they feel about their prior experiences about that product or service. A dissatisfied customer will also tell between 9 to 15 people about their experience, and around 30% of dissatisfied customers will tell about 20 other people. So let's move now. We've done the definitional issues. I've discussed with you the components of customer experience. I've talked to you about the advantages of pursuing superior customer experience delivery. If you'll indulge me, I want to move into discussing the principles of great customer experiences. Key things you need to understand if you really want to excel at delivering superior customer experiences. Principle number 1, know thy customer. Understand your customer. It's important for you, my listeners, to appreciate the fact that excellent customer experience is always usually predicated on close customer intimacy. The more intimate you are with your customer, in knowing their likes and dislikes, in knowing their changing moods, needs, and preferences, the better equipped you are as a service entity to effectively cater to these needs and changing preferences. So principle number 1, understand your customer. Principle number 2, know that first impressions are real and lasting. First impressions usually occur in what we call moments of truth. Now, moments of truth are 10 to 15 second opportunities to make a first time positive and lasting impression in any service encounter. 10 to 15 second opportunities. Now, can you imagine, as you listen to me, you're able to go back to work tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, and get everybody who works with you to understand that, hey, as long as we continue to work here, we have a maximum of 15 seconds to delight a customer anytime we meet them. Trust me, it will generate such a mind shift, you'll not be able to recognize your organization again. 10 to 15 second opportunities. Principle number 3, do what you say you are going to do. And closely linked to that is principle number 4, under promise and over deliver. What am I saying? Anytime the customer has a need, a request, something they need done for them, and you go out and meet that need, hey, you achieve what we call customer satisfaction. Anytime they have a need, but you are unable to meet that need, you have what we call customer dissatisfaction. When they have a need and you over-deliver and go above and beyond the call of duty, you have what we call customer delight. Every forward-looking organization that's pushing for great customer experiences must continually strive to achieve customer delight. So what I'm saying is that always under promise and then over-deliver. Principle number 5, listen to your customer. Listen to your customer. I always say jokingly that I've heard somewhere that the reason why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth is that we are typically supposed to listen twice as much as we speak. Trust me, customers don't just have needs. Customers have obvious needs, and then they have what we call latent needs. Latent needs are hidden, they are not so obvious. So if you don't have a system for discovering both obvious needs and latent needs through excellent customer feedback collection tools, delivery of excellent customer insights, doing large surveys, doing mystery shopper, doing focus groups, using an appropriate mix of data collection tools to understand what your customer needs, obvious and hidden, then you've not properly developed the capacity to listen to your customer. And this is a very, very crucial principle in delivering superior customer experiences. Next principle, follow up with your customer. As for follow up, I think I've alluded to it already, that the magic is always in the after sale. So if you want to be a very profitable corporate entity, it's the capacity to deliver excellent service over and over and over and over again. That's what makes you a totally profitable company. So follow up with your customer. And then the next principle is that know as a service entity or as a corporate entity that you are subjectively communicating with your customer every moment of every day. Next principle, let the customers know that you truly appreciate their businesses. Also, make sure to keep a mindset on the little things because the little things matter. And then if something negative happens, strive to quickly make it right. So in customer experience and service management, there's a concept called the service recovery paradox. Here's how it works. When you have a problem and I'm able to sort it out for you as a company, you develop a new awareness of my capabilities in respect not just of service delivery, but also of service recovery. So the reason why it's a paradox is that you need the problem before I can solve it for you. So the problem must come before you discover that not only do I have service delivery capacity, but I also have service recovery capacity. That's why it's called a paradox. The thing, however, is that if the problem keeps recurring, then the paradox disappears. So it must be one big problem that I sort out for you decisively, and then you realize I have service recovery capacities. So principle number 1, understand your customer. Number 2, know that first impressions are real and lasting. Number 3, do what you say you are going to do. Number 4, under promise and over deliver. Number 5, listen to your customer. 6, follow up with your customer. 7, know that you are subjectively communicating with your customer every moment of every day. 8, let your customers know you truly appreciate their businesses. 9, always remember the little things matter. 10, if something negative happens, make it right immediately so you can achieve the service recovery paradox. In spite of our best efforts, however, I need to respectfully submit to you that no matter how service-oriented you are, no matter how sophisticated your customer delivery mechanisms are, you still will encounter some difficult customers, trust me. And difficult customers, they come in different types, shapes, colors, forms. And these are the ones who are always demanding more service. They are never satisfied with the performance of your products and services. They take up a huge amount of your time. And unfortunately, because of the advent of social media, now they also have a global forum to tell everybody about how unhappy they are with you. Now, these issues are important because when people begin to complain about you, usually on social media, even if you scramble quickly to address their issues, there's a tendency that other people who may also have issues with you all jump in, and soon they create a certain cascading effect. And if you're not careful, it can overwhelm you as a company. So I want to please share with you some reasons why customers become difficult, so that you don't get taken aback or you don't get taken unawares about these issues. The number one reason why customers become difficult sometimes is rudeness to them. You are just rude. You speak anyhow. You show a certain shocking ignorance about your own organization, its products and services. And when the customer takes you on that issue, you rather get angry and start insulting them. Rudeness to the customer. 2, absence of listening staff. I just spoke about the importance of listening. If you have non-listening staff, it is one fertile avenue for developing difficult customers. 3, expectations not being met. 4, stress and inconvenience. All these are reasons why customers become difficult. But the thing to notice, when customers become difficult, they could also metamorphose into what we call J customers. Now, J customers create problems for a service organization by intentionally disrupting the smooth delivery of service in your organization. And you sort of need to understand the profiles of these J customers in order to effectively devise strategies to deal with them. The first type of J customer you'd have to contend with is the thief. He's a thief, she's a thief. And thieves are people who have no intention of paying you for your goods and services, and they set out to steal from you from day one. Examples of thieves are people who try and sneak into cinemas to watch the movie surreptitiously. They try and hitch free rides on public transport. Look, when I was studying in Denmark, I remember I used to take a bus to school every day, and typically nobody will ask you any question. You can either clip, show your card. Took buses in the UK. Even though you might not be seen to be watched all the time, if you are caught even once hitching a free ride, the penalties that are slapped on you, my goodness, you'll never repeat that sin as long as you live. So, as for thieves, you need to implement what we call know your customer programs, so you can identify them and categorize them to ensure that customers who have a propensity to steal from you are effectively managed so they don't get the opportunity at all. So the first type of J customer is the thief. The second type is the cheat. So these are the customers that they want to cheat you. So they do things like present fake IDs in order to patronize a particular good or service. They forge personal IDs. And you need to devise preventive measures against this category of J customers. Then we have the belligerents. They are the ones who come and shout. They can assault you verbally and physically. They complain about issues. They are unfriendly. They create a mess. They can even create a fight. The general guideline for addressing or dealing with belligerent customers is to prepare your service interfacing personnel through training to develop the skills necessary for dealing with the belligerents. The next type of J customer is the rule breaker. They never follow rules. They are there to break rules, and they come and they know what it is that they need to do, but they just come and they misbehave because they derive pleasure in misbehavior. And the best way to deal with rule breakers is for service firms to develop clear codes of service conduct and make this available to both employees and then customers, so that we all understand our obligations and responsibilities to the co-production of successful delivery outcomes. Then you have vandals. Vandals, they come and they just want to destroy property, and they want to also just be a nuisance in the service delivery area. So vandals are those who go and pour soft drinks into ATM machines. They can sit in, they can come to your hotel, and then they'll burn holes in the seats in the room before they leave. They are the ones who can steal bed sheets when they are going away. They just misbehave. The way to deal with vandals is to have a lot of light where your service entity is, so that you can pick them up when they are trying to do some dangerous things. The only challenge is that for certain types of service, like for a hotel room, I don't think it's ethical to have cameras in the room. But to the extent that you can spot them, use security and lights to thwart these vandals. So the last type of J customer I want to discuss before I get to how to manage difficult customers are those I refer to as family feuders. They are family feuds. So they come into your hotel area, into your travel and tour agency, into your airline area, and they start fighting among themselves. And they are members of the same family. They are just fighting, shouting, screaming, kicking each other. And sometimes it's very problematic, because if these family feuders are children, for instance, they can create a mess and sometimes have themselves in your service area. So for these family feuders, you have to train your people to develop the self-confidence and assertiveness they need to stand up to them, break up these family feuds, and ensure that they all obey the rules. It's totally crucial. So we've dealt with customers, difficult customers. We've categorized J customers. I want to start concluding this presentation to you on how to manage extremely difficult customers. And by the way, all I'm presenting to you is it's a chapter in my book on customer service essentials, the second edition in particular. So if you want more of this, you can always buy the book and enjoy more of these insights on how to better handle customers. Now, when it comes to difficult customers, it's always important to handle every difficult, angry, and complaining customer with care, using some of the methods I'm going to outline next. So, method number 1, give the customer respect. Number 2, show them empathy. Number 3, provide consistency. 4, promote positive relationships. 5, allow customers to air grievances. 6, avoid getting trapped in negative filters. 7, say sorry when necessary. 9, always agree on a mutual beneficial solution going forward. And lastly, always do follow-up. So let me start with the issue of give the customer respect. Let me be quick to say at this point that I'm not naive enough to know that sometimes customers who are being difficult are wrong. Strictly speaking, you could argue that they either didn't follow a particular procedure, or in dealing with you, they were so rude, they don't even deserve any respect back. Please, I want to respectfully submit to you that when it comes to managing extremely difficult customers, closely allied to this point of giving them respect is swallow your pride. So you just be the fool for them in order that the corporate brand you represent is not compromised. Because when you get into a tussle with difficult customers, usually you never win. Because by the time they escalate the problem to the managing director, you could lose your job as a bank teller. So please, as much as you can, give the customer respect. And showing respect doesn't mean the customer is not wrong. That's not what I'm saying. It's only courteous to calm them and help the customer with their problem. My recommendation to you is that please develop a mindset that says, no matter what the circumstance, the peace or contentment of this customer will never be compromised. Then the second principle is show empathy towards the customer. Now, if you do any customer experience, customer service training, service management training, and you don't come across the word empathy, the training cannot end. That's why empathy has shown up here. Show them empathy. Empathy is putting yourself in the customer's shoes. Empathy is relating to the customer from within their frame of reference. So if customers realize that you, the service firm, you really care and you are ready to help resolve their problems, they will calm down and begin to interact with you in a positive way. So empathy is not just useful for you, the service provider, but it's useful for the customer as well, because empathy radically cools them down, and then you get into a situation where you can better reason with them. So you show them empathy. Then the next principle is provide consistency as one of the ways to manage extremely difficult customers. Now, consistency generates respect, while inconsistency leads to a poor service image. I'll explain. So let's say there's a customer who's totally angry in a banking hall or angry in a hospital. Why are they angry? He came to the hospital with a pregnant wife. He's been waiting to see the doctor for maybe 97 minutes. So he's not happy at all. The wife is groaning and in pain. And he sees a colleague walking, a colleague who was a mate from school, with his non-pregnant wife, and they go in and see the doctor whilst he's waiting to see the doctor, the pregnant one who's groaning. They begin to wonder what kind of systems the hospital is operating, why others are getting preferential treatment. And it makes people like that even more angry if they were angry just waiting to see the doctor for 97 minutes. So please, as a service provider, once you make service promises, deliver them in a uniform manner. Honor your promises in a way that doesn't make customers feel neglected and others feel preferred. It will create major problems for you, and it will make difficult customers even become more difficult. So please, whatever you do, try to provide consistency. The next proposal for you is manage positive relationships. Now, customers who visit the service institution to receive service must be acknowledged immediately and eye contact made with them. I read somewhere about 6-7 years ago that a particular supermarket in the US improved their sales and revenue by 22% in a particular year because those sales attendants at the checkout counters just maintained eye contact with customers and smiled with them. By the time the smile was finished, they were buying other things, reaching for other things, just because the ladies at the checkout point were courteous, maintained eye contact, and they smiled. But another way to promote positive relationships is also to deliver a solid handshake, because a solid handshake sometimes promotes customer relationships and sets the tone for resolving any customer problems. However, depending on the cultural idiosyncrasies you are working with, please be careful about handshakes. There are some cultures where it's not really required. There are some cultures where a hug might be a better option. There are some cultures where after shaking you must click fingers as a way of showing that you've really connected. The next thing I want to discuss is allow customers to air their grievances. When people are extremely unhappy with you, they want to express their feelings and they want to hear their problem solved. So an approach to dealing with customers and their grievances is to make you, the customer service rep, keep quiet and not make matters worse by interrupting the customer. Listen to me. I've traveled extensively on the continent of Africa. And I found that there's one thing that people who work in business settings still do not quite get. One of the important business etiquette rules in any properly constituted professional meeting is that you don't talk over each other. So that ideally, you must always let the other person finish speaking before you take off. But I've been in several meetings where people keep crisscrossing each other, and then the import of the discussion sometimes gets lost. When it's with a difficult customer, please, as much as possible, do not interrupt them. At worst, you could say, just so that I'm sure you have noted that, and then you do a quick recap of what they said, then you can move the conversation forward. But please, don't interrupt them or speak over them. The next recommendation I want to make to you in managing extremely difficult customers is avoid getting trapped in negative filters. Look, sometimes you can be so angry because maybe this same customer caused you a problem 3 weeks before. You knew they were wrong. You were polite and let it go. They've come 3 weeks after, and they are trying to cause you the same problem they caused you 3 weeks earlier. Trust me, just because of that prior experience, you can develop what is called a negative filter. Once you develop a negative filter, everything they are saying will not get through to you. No positive communication will take place. So the customer can become angry again, and you also become angry now. So you start speaking to them rudely, you start speaking to them carelessly, and you don't listen to them enough. So as much as possible, avoid getting trapped in negative filters as a way of managing extremely difficult customers. The next proposal I want to make to you is say sorry where necessary, because it conveys to the customer that you are genuinely sorry about the experience that they've encountered, and you are going to take immediate steps to repair the situation. Let me caution you though. In saying sorry, always ensure that you also don't put the company you represent in a negative situation by saying sorry and committing to reparation that the company can't deliver on. Otherwise, even though you said sorry, legal suits can kick in, the customer can take you to court, and all they'll have to fall on is that you admitted something that makes you liable to be sued. So just be careful. In spite of the fact that I'm recommending saying sorry when necessary, don't also compromise your company by saying sorry in a way that makes you liable for damages. Then the next proposal is mutually agree the solution. So please, don't promise what you can't deliver. And even though the customer is very unhappy, please be honest in recommending a profitable way forward. Because a mad customer, an angry customer, a difficult customer, who you go and overpromise to just so that you can ameliorate a current situation, will be 50 times more angry when they discover that you cannot resolve the situation based on the promise you've made. It makes the situation much worse. So please, make sure you agree mutually on a good way forward, a way forward that you can realistically deliver upon. Very, very important. Then follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. So you were angry, I sorted you out, I made reparation, I made you happy. It's my job to keep following up to ensure that the satisfaction is complete. I can follow up by phone, I can come to your office, I can email you, I can send you a letter, but proper follow-up ascertains whether the customer is truly satisfied, and it helps to build customer confidence in the organization and also ensures customer retention. Remember, we said at the beginning that, look, it's far more difficult to retain customers and sell to them than to go out looking for new ones, which is very, very, very difficult to sometimes achieve. So customer experience is very important, and it happens at every touch point of the organization. And what you must strive to do as a service entity is to ensure that the consistency of the experience is delivered in such a way that customers don't have variations in what they feel, depending on which branch they go to, depending on whether they go to you on Facebook or on Twitter, but everywhere they interface you, there should be an increasingly homogeneous customer experience. And in situations where customers become difficult, I've demonstrated to you steps you can take in order to repair the situation and find a profitable way forward. In conclusion, therefore, I think Africa has a great deal to benefit from in terms of enhanced customer experiences, in making our companies more viable, more profitable, and in ensuring that when we continue to develop global businesses, we will excel in the countries we export to or set up in because we have solid, homogenized customer experience delivery templates. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm Professor Robert Ebo Hinson. You can follow me on Facebook, you can follow me on Twitter, and you can get a copy of my Customer Service Essentials book and find out more about customer experience and how to do it.